Today we have Dr. K.N Raghavan Sir, retired IRS officer, a medical doctor turned civil servant. He has served as a key position, Commissioner of Customs Kochi, Executive Director of Rubber Board, Government of India. Dr. Raghavan has also represented India abroad as a first secretary in the Indian High Commission Singapore. He's even stood on a cricket field as a BCC certified umpire. He's an accomplished author. He's known for books like Ramayana Mantra, blending leadership, ethics, and Indian philosophy with the practical life lessons. We are honored to have you here, sir, to share your journey, your experience and insight to the future civil servants.
Thank you very much
for coming, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, you have done a doctorate, like means you are a doctor. Okay. Now, what made you to think about civil service, sir?
No, I studied in the 70s and 80s. So those days the options are rather limited. So if you have fairly good marks in your class 10 level, you either go for those CCTVs called the first group, that's the physics, chemistry, maths, or the physics, chemistry, biology. And those people who took the maths options usually went for engineering, and the others went for biology option went for medicine. I didn't have much of affinity either for engineering or medicine. But then I thought that I've seen some of my relatives who became engineers who had to wait for a job. Unemployment was very acute during those days. So I thought if you become a doctor, at least you can set up your own practice, and doctor is always very well respected in the society. So looking from outside, it appeared to be a more safe, secure, glamorous profession, which is why I took MBBS. Now, once I got to medical college, I found that it was a different cup of tea altogether. Doctors are unique in that they're 100% focused on the job. If you find 3 doctors, they'll be discussing about disease, some case, some matter. So you require that sort of focus and commitment, which I did not have. I have a lot of other interests. So midway through the course, I started thinking about ways to get out of medicine. And those days, the only option was civil service. So I and a couple of similar minded friends decided to write the civil service. It was a big step during those days because in the 80s, Kerala had only 5 medical colleges. So getting in was difficult. There was no subject relating to medicine in the civil services examination. And generally, not many doctors went to the civil service. So it was a major step. Most people would call it crazy at that time. But then we thought that we should at least make an attempt. Made an attempt and I was lucky to get it.
Again, the first attempt you got it, sir?
I wrote only once. I wrote the 8 and 9 exam, qualified, got into 1990 batch. Didn't try my luck again after that.
Okay, now people are not happy with anything less than IAS. And they're writing again, even IPS officers are writing again, IRS officers writing again. They want only IAS kind of attitude. But thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir, this medical background which you had, has it helped as you as an administrator in the later part of your career?
Definitely, yes. Because what goes into your training during those days plays a very important role in what you become and how you tackle situations. Like in medical college, all said and done, I studied in Calicut Medical College. Those days, it was the only medical college right from Kasaragod till Palakkad. So it was very heavy thing. You may not believe if I say that I had taken more than 100 deliveries. We had attended to stab injuries and casualties. So you become a full-fledged doctor. So advantage is that now you know how to deal with any sort of emergency.
Any sort of emergency. Critical situations.
Yes. Now a patient being brought to a casualty with a stab wound for 15 people. Patient is one thing, managing the mob is also any. So how you tackle that. So these are lessons that you learned which actually helped you. Second and more important thing is that when a patient comes to a doctor, he tells his problem, the doctor examines him, and within that small gap of 5 or 10 minutes, doctor arrives at a conclusion as what is his illness and makes a diagnosis and writes a medicine. So your orientation is towards solving the problem, understanding the problem, getting to the
core of the
all-round contours of it and diagnosing it and suggesting a solution.
Giving them solution.
So this has become a sort of embedded in my this thing. So when I went to administration, or rather, I was never afraid of public. That is one thing. I always felt that you could relate to public. I never shied away from public. I would meet public, I would explain, I had interact with them. That is one thing. Second, my approach is always towards solving problems. I don't mean anything against people who come from the arts team, but people who have been in the science stream, particularly those people who have worked in this, have a bit more orientation towards solving problems because of our training.
The people interactions, you met different sorts of people during your career as a doctor. That also could have helped you in the civil service, no?
Yes, it helps. It helps
Different
because
diverse people you have met.
yes, you learn from everyone. See, when I was, I'll just tell you, those days doctors used to be, there are many types of doctors. We had senior professors who would be very gruff, who would shout, who will throw tantrums and were terrors. But we also had some fine gentlemen who will never raise the voice. And if he keeps quiet for 30 seconds, the entire room will fall quiet.
Okay.
So there are two ways of approaching a problem. One is to shout at people, and the other is to, with your silence, ensure that the message gets spread. So you learn from everyone.
Everyone. True, sir. Today also a lot of professionals like engineers or doctors, okay, they're aspiring to become a civil servant. What is the message to them, sir?
Say, why do people want to get in the civil service? I have one simple answer. This is the best job that government of India can offer you. At a very young age, it positions you in a fairly high
It starts
position.
with 21 years itself.
Yes. Between 21 to 26 or 27, you are placed in a fairly high position in the administrative hierarchy, which is a big thing. So it obviously vests you with a lot of importance, which is good for your ego, lot of power, which should be used judiciously. And as a job, it's a good job because it entails you certain benefits, perks, timely promotion, job security, all that. Second, job satisfaction wise, the impact of your actions can affect lots and lots of people.
True.
Now, you are in a place where you are able to solve a problem. Like you look at a person who is working in the police who is able to ensure that policing is done in a tighter manner. You have an administrator who is able to see that certain civic responsibilities are done in a proper manner. You have a person working in the tax administration who sends a message, anyone having a problem in filing the returns can approach me.
Yes.
So these are all small measures which you can do, which will make the life of many people much better.
Yes.
So this is the importance that comes in. So when you think about government jobs or jobs in civil service, people think about a car with the flashing lights. No.
That is my main thing there.
Maybe for the outside environment.
The initial inspirations come from that.
And maybe because you see these things glorified in the movies, you think that's the job. Well, there are certain perks that come with it. Maybe a car with a flashing light in certain postings might be there. But more importantly, when you go to sleep at night, most of the times you get the satisfaction that you have done something which is good, which may help people, which is a huge motivation for people. Which is the reason why I feel a lot of people want to come in. The projection of power and job security is certainly one aspect. But then when I wrote the exam, more than 2 lakh people attended. Now I think more than 10 lakh people.
Are writing.
So if so many people are attracted towards this particular job, obviously it has a lot of attractions, charms as far the job content is concerned. So more professionals should come in. Or rather, professionals should not be denied because they are professionals. And they also
That
bring
is
in...
what it says, sir. Like they already got a professional, they have unka job pakki hai, why they want to come here. Actually, they're saying anybody can apply.
And this is actually government service. You're also doing a job to serve the government, to serve the people.
True.
So that's a lot of things. So nobody should be denied a chance to do that. And as I said, it is something which the government offers to the public or to the young aspirants. Whosoever is the best, who passed through the exam, should definitely come in.
Yes. Now, recently, like 2013 onwards, they have introduced a CSAT paper in the paper 2 as a qualifying paper only. But that favors an engineering students little bit. What is your take on that, sir? Engineers are coming more. They are from IIT or NITs.
The engineers always had an advantage in the sense that some of the papers, I wrote in the 90s, so I'm a bit outdated on the
that
paper.
time mathematics not there. Small kind of statistics was there, I think.
No, there was mathematics. There was mathematics. So certain combinations cannot be taken. But people who study in IITs obviously had an advantage because some of the papers were more suited to the subject that they have studied. And there were scoring papers. Now, in any, you have so many papers, some of them are scoring papers, some of them are not scoring papers. So, whereas art students did not have this luxury of having too many scoring papers on that. So, engineering students definitely had an advantage. And even now, when you look at, I retired as the Director General of our training vertical of the IRS. So I had done a study when I was there. I found that in average in every batch, 55 to 60% are engineers. And if you look at, that's not just for this. When you look at the people who are recruited at the group B level as inspectors, there also 60% people are engineers. Two significant factors come in. One, that a lot of professionals are approaching and engineers are better placed to crack it. Two, the fact that many of them are coming to Group B also shows that their employment opportunities elsewhere may not be the types which gives them job satisfaction.
Correct.
So this is also some, and are we producing more engineers that we
That is
need?
another.
This is a third larger question that has to come in. I cannot say that the number of engineers, at least from the service that I belong to, had increased because of this change. Engineers always are in large numbers. So maybe a small percentage difference might have happened.
So, any case or any experience where it truly tested your leadership when you are in service? Sir?
There have been many challenging assignments. So I would say that every posting comes with its own challenge. When I sat out in a small place called Hosur, which was in Tamil Nadu. It's an industrial area. So it is probably the only place where we had a division in those times which was not a district headquarters. But then it was a great learning experience there. So then I worked in Directorate of Revenue Intelligence. Then I worked in the state government. Now there was a huge difference that came in. When I came to state government, I was asked to head the Rubber Marketing Federation. And I was also given the task of setting up a medical college, which is a Cochin Medical College. Now it is called the Government Medical College. So this was a tough assignment in the sense that Rubber Marketing Federation itself was a full-time job. So at that point, we had started export of rubber because the local rubber prices were low. So we got some subsidy from the central government and started export of rubber, which actually led to increase in rubber prices. We set up a toy balloon factory called Rubber Balloons, which is with foreign collaboration, which is doing well. And I could also set up the medical college, which was a great challenge. Because
simultaneously, you're managing both.
Yes, because the project of medical college was conceived in 2000, when the government did not allow medical college in the private sector. This was in the cooperative sector, still government controlled. But in 2001, government changed the norm and said private sector
Can also get into this.
So all our faculty went to the private sector because obviously they were playing better. And there were established hospitals like you had Amrita Hospital, you had the hospital in medical, which is now the medical college Kolancheri, you had the Amala, you had the Jubilee Mission. So they were established hospitals who were setting up medical colleges. So they found it easier to attract the doctors. So those 4 years when or rather 3 years between 2001 to 2004, when we actually brought up the medical college from scratch, were the toughest in my service. There were a lot of court cases to be fought because in government, anyone who has this thing goes to court. So, and one contractor had to...
It's like starting from scratch, no?
It was like starting from scratch. We had to start from the building the foundation
onwards.
Everything. Only thing that the government gave the land, but we got good support from the government machinery. It was a learning experience. When I look back, I say I went in as a boy into that and came out as a man. So it was actually the life-changing experience. Those 3 years of the thing. And after that, I had not felt real stress in any job. I was lucky in many respects because last posting of mine was in a place called Palasamudram. Now, we have a training academy, which like IAS has in the Mussoorie and police
kind
has
of foundation, kind of in-service training.
In-service training. So officers who get recruited after the foundation course come for their service training. So our academy was in Faridabad. Now we were setting up a huge academy in Palasamudram, which is about 100 kilometers, 150 kilometers away from Bangalore in Andhra Pradesh, in a 500-acre campus. So this was a huge challenge. I was given the responsibility of seeing that this was completed and commissioned in 2024, before the election. So Honorable Prime Minister came to inaugurate it. So we could complete that work, have the training start. It was a huge challenge. So like that, in every posting, everywhere you face challenge. Tackling COVID was a challenge. I was working in rubber board and COVID hit. And we have offices all across the country. We had offices in Arunachal Pradesh. And that person was stuck here. So this was one time when I found use for the social media. So using Facebook, Facebook Live, I actually started addressing offices. But then I found that we could do work for the sector also. So what rubber is one commodity where you can tap it, get latex, sell as latex, or make sheets which are done in your backyard and sell the sheets. So easy encashability was always an advantage. Suddenly you find that you cannot encash it because there was no trade happening. So we actually, through rubber board companies, we opened up that sector and ensured that everyone who has rubber could come and we will buy the rubber. So this was a huge boost for them during those times. So it was, now pandemic is something which happens once in a century. When I studied MBBS, I thought there was a flu pandemic, Spanish.
That time it was.
No, in modern times it will not happen. But then suddenly you find in the 21st century you are having a pandemic. How do you tackle it? There are no textbook norms for it. So that was another challenge that came in. So in every situation, in every post, you have challenges. And when you are recruited to civil service, you are expected to assume the leadership role. So it comes automatically. So I can keep on and on saying about what I done. But what I am saying is that with every person who is in civil service, you will find similar experiences.
So coming to your book, sir, you have written a lot of many books. One book which came into my mind was Ramayana Mantra. Why this book, sir? Why Ramayana Mantra? First of all, for the first question. Then next I'll ask any personal, this one, like you have a character which admired you in the Ramayana.
In Kerala, we have the Ramayana month.
Yes, in the Bhavan school, or school level itself it's there.
So that is in the month of Karkadaga. So people read Ramayana. So I seen my mother read Ramayana. So I also started reading it after. You try to reconnect with all these things at some stage in your life. So I think around the age of 50, I thought I'll just read it. It helps my Malayalam also. It's a beautifully written Malayalam. What you have the Edutach and Satyatma Ramayana. Then when I was Commissioner Customs here, somebody asked whether I could give a talk on this during the Ramayana month because a lot of talks were. I said I don't have much of philosophy in it, but I'll try. So I gave a small talk in one of the temples. I did it for 2 years and then after that I left Cochin, but then people started calling me for that. And during COVID time, what happened was that this became through the PC, which means it had a very different audience. Otherwise, people who come to a particular temple will hear it. Now people can sit listening in their homes. So mine was not really into the philosophy or spiritual this thing. Mine was more into the practical implications of a fable. I believe that each fable conveys a message which have a relevance in the present times also.
True, sir.
Now, for example, now you know that there is a story in Ramayana about Hanuman lifting the mountain and coming. Is it possible for anyone to lift? Or Hanuman jumping across the sea? Is it possible to do it? No. But the message it conveys, as I see it, is that if you have inspired by a leader, you can perform what is considered impossible.
With the present ability. You go beyond your ability.
Now, you see the Indian independence movement. Gandhiji made it a mass movement. By the simple act of taking a pinch of salt, he was able to electrify the nation. The people who went and faced the police and got lathi blows were people who were never been hit even by their parents. How did he motivate to do that? This is what a great leader can do. See China, we had the long march there.
True.
No, 10,000 miles the people trekked. They saw their comrades or compatriots dying on the way, but still they trekked.
They were going.
Why? Because they believed in him. That's the power of inspiration. So there are several such stories in Ramayana. So I must have spoken about some of these during my talks. And one colleague of mine said, "Sir, why don't you put these down in paper?" So that was the inspiration. So every fable, every legend that we have, or book on mythology, you find that there are messages. These are all originally told by word of mouth, subsequently written down. So there will be different versions also. One version may not exactly mirror another version, but it has a message. So irrespective of which religion, which caste you belong to, you try to imbibe the good lessons of that. I wrote the Ramayana for these reasons. So again, let me tell you, I'm not an expert on any of these things, but I thought that there were a lot of messages which are there, which has contemporary relevance.
So while you are in a civil service or when you are in administration service itself, writing a book is a difficult task, or how do you manage it, sir?
Civil service rules are very clear that if you are writing on anything relating to your official work, you need to get permission.
Okay.
And you are not to disclose secrets. And your view should not be inimical to those or opposite to those of the government. So this is a broad contours. So all my books that I have written have been on topics which nothing relating to the
directly with the
as I said, I poke my hands in a lot of things. So my interests are fairly widespread, and it is never linked to the core work. So I did not write anything about taxation or about customs or GST or anything. I wrote about other topics. So that was fine with that.